Oh, it's that time, y'all. It's Wind Down Wednesday, therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. I am your host with the most, one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. That's right, on the people's podcast. Get ready to come on in. We'll be starting here shortly. Just giving everybody an opportunity to know that we're out there. They can wave their hands in the air. Isn't that something? Wave your hands in the air. So get ready for the People's Podcast. We're going to have an amazing night, as we always do. Y'all get ready. I'll be back with you shortly. Wind Down Wednesday, therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation, people podcast. Greetings, greetings. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby, therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. Oh, it is your host with the most, one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. That's right, on the People's Podcast. Oh, we're about to make it happen tonight. Y'all know what we do when we come in. Do what? For you, for me, and for us. Hit that share button. All right? You hit that share button. And let's get ready to get this thing started, right? Oh, I had an amazing day today, you all. Of course, today is Wednesday, and Wednesdays are my days of prep, meditation time, so that we can have something on the table for you all, right? There's nothing like having a table prepared that you can feast from. We're going to have an amazing time because it's an all out grown folk conversation tonight. Y'all ready to have this conversation? Oh, yeah. If you're ready to have this conversation, do like I'm about to do. Put a one out there on the timeline. If you're in the room right now, if not, then I know everybody else that'll be coming in later on. They'll hit us up, right? That's what's up. Grown folk conversation. I see you. The rim man is in the house. I see you. Priestess Lavelle is in the house. ATL is in the house. How y'all doing tonight? How's your weather? Oh, we had an amazing day. It's about 62. Oh, it was beautiful. Had an amazing time sitting out back meditating, thinking about you guys coming in tonight. And we having an amazing time. For those of you, this may be your first time in Wind Down Wednesday. Listen, it's all about grown folk. And one of the things that we do not do in here, we do not deride, we do not gossip, we do not try to desecrate one another. We don't get into debating. What we do get into is that we share thoughts, ideas, concepts, opinions, right? And we chop it up on the timeline because here in Wind Down Wednesday, what do? We use the talkback system, right? We talk to each other and we have respect one for the other, right? That's what we do in Wind Down Wednesday. We are a staple. We're not a brand. Brands are those things that can be destroyed. They can be obliterated by anyone that choose to speak out against you. But a staple is that landmark that has been established through the test of time. And there are those that know that, hey, this cannot be removed. And this is what we're establishing here in Wind Down Wednesday, a place for you to come. That's right, so that you can be you and only you. We're not looking for you to be anyone else but you because this is a wonderful place and a beautiful place to be and to share, right? And to share ATL and to share South Kakalaki and to share. This is what we need. We need the ability to share information with each other, right? When we can share that information with each other, that's a beautiful thing. That's what I'm saying. It is a beautiful, wonderful thing. So we're still populating. Thank you all for the emojis, for putting the emojis out there. I see you beaded vibrations is in the house. Gratitude. Gratitude for all of you all that show support. Okay? Now, please be advised. What we're doing is we're streaming to more than one site right now. We're streaming to the Truth Session. We're streaming to YouTube as well as Wind Down Wednesday. So what we've done, we've upgraded our software so that we can bring to you a greater program, right? So those of you that donate, listen, I guarantee you it's not going to waste. You can look out here at it and see what it is and know that we're making what? Headway. Okay? So now do this for you, for me, and for us. Hit that share button. Okay? Go ahead and share. It's okay. Because what? Sharing is what? Caring, isn't it? Sharing is caring. I'm waiting on you all to come on in. But yeah, I have an amazing wine for you all tonight. And we're going to get in, we're going to deep dive into this conversation tonight. I'm going to put something out here for us to delve into because I think it's very important. Because one of the things that have been happening to us, we have been put under a spell. And that spell is working from so many different directions. And so it is incumbent upon us that we discuss these matters, right? So that we can get a gauge on it. And if it's having an ill effect upon us, we can get some information that allow us to commandeer it and subjugate it and subdue it, right? And overcome it. What y'all think? I think that'd be an amazing feat that we can commandeer whatever negative energy, whatever negative forces, dark forces that are coming against us. We have the ability to share information with each other that allows us to do what? To defeat that, to overcome that, to subjugate it, to surmount it, to commandeer it, and we become what? Victorious. That's what's up. That's what we're going to be doing here in Wine Down Wednesday. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. Listen, give yourself a hand. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to introduce this wine to you all. ATL in the house. Queen Octavia is here. So I'm going to introduce this wine to you all. It's a red wine, and we've been along these lines before. It's a dark horse. It's a smooth wine. Those of you, you may not partake of the fruit of the vine, but if you have your tea, coffee, water, soda pop, whatever you may have, we're going to toast it up, baby. We're getting ready to run up out of this false New Year's, right? Because we know the true New Year's doesn't come in until around the last of April, beginning of March, right? Middle of March. That's when our real spring comes in, correct? That's when everything comes back to life. So, listen, we've been having an amazing time. And for those of you that haven't had an opportunity to join us on Saturday, Saturday's a field full of information. It's called the Truth Session. The Truth Session with my cohort and I, the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shape shifter, the code breaker, baby. We deep dive into some great information where we are breaking codes and giving you information that's off the chain. And it's free game, right? And here's the only thing that we ask of you all: donate. I am a content creator, and you all know that you have to put forth effort to gather in information and package it in a way that you can give it and it's digestible, right? It's applicable. You can use it in your everyday walk on your journey. This is what's important. And so, what we do is we undertake with painstaking efforts to do that. Okay. So, now this particular podcast is centered around giving you a voice. Those of you that don't get the opportunity, you probably go on others' podcasts and you're not recognized. Here, you will be recognized. And listen, we will, of course, take your opinions, your thoughts, your concepts, and everything, and with respect, give answer. Okay? Shout out to Queen Tracy. She's in the house. Also, happy belated birthday to Queen Tracy. Also, happy belated birthday to the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shape shifter, the code breaker, baby. And those of you that are having a birthday this season, this month, put it on the timeline so we can shout you out. All right. For those of you, again, that are having birthdays, listen to this. Let's give them a hand. All right. Put them hands together again. Yeah. Y'all nervous? Y'all scared? Put them hands together. Yes, indeed. You know what? Let's also give them a drum roll. Ah, happy birthday to all of you all. The secretariats are in the house. All right. Thank you for your donation, Queen Tracy. Yes, indeed. And again, with grateful, extended gratitude for your donations. They will not be used in any way that will not project growth in Wind Down Wednesday. So, with that in tow, tonight's topic is going to be all out grown folks conversation. What does that mean? I'm going to put something out here and we're going to deep dive into it because, again, I want to talk about how we have been disillusioned, how we have been held spellbound, where our thoughts are held captive, where we are in an altered reality where there are those that are feeding us misinformation and disinformation so that they can take control of how we move in this cosmos. This is very important. And this is one of the reasons why we established Wind Down Wednesday, where we can have a grown folk conversation, where it can be laid back, where you can get your thoughts out, where we can communicate with each other. Come on, come on, friend. Yeah, so we can get our thoughts out. Yes, indeed. We can get our thoughts out. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, so let me introduce you all to this wine, and we can go ahead and get ready to jump into this conversation. And those that will join us later, hey, they'll be up in here. They know how to do this, right? Let me let me hit this share button just a couple of times, real quick, fam, and we'll go ahead on and introduce this wine to you guys. And it's a nice wine too, you all. It's smooth. It's smooth. Let me get this out of here. Here we go. It's a smooth wine. Sharing just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a stroke of love. All right. Let me share. Hit that share button. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Here we go. We're almost ready, y'all. We're almost ready to introduce this wine. Let me see a show of hands out there. How many of you all put one in the air if you do? How many of you all like wine? As I do. I'm gonna put a one in the air out there. If you like wine, put a one. If you're sipping on something else, that's okay. Put that out there too. Put what you're sipping on. It's cool. Cool. Look what Morris Day said. Cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Cool. Yes, indeed. We're going to have a wonderful night, you all. I'm just chopping it up and just giving us a little bit more time. But we're going to go ahead and pour up this wine. How many of you know wine is good for your mind? They make no wine before it's time. Y'all hear me? Okay. Queen Octavia says, random thought. Why are they trying to unalive everyone? So many different tactics. That is food supply, COVID, and immunizations. Don't they realize what would happen if we are all gone? I don't. I don't think they really realize it, Queen Octavia, because some people seeing it is believing it when it should be the other way around. But we're going to get into belief. I'm glad that you opened up that question because we're going to get into belief and knowing tonight. What do you believe versus what do you know, or what do you know versus what you believe? And I think it's going to be really good. And I want to talk about the way I want to get into this is I want to deal with faith. You always hear people talking about my faith. It takes faith to get a thing done, and we've always heard this. But what you have to understand is that 99.9% of the people have no idea what faith really means. Because to be open and honest with you, and not trying to in any kind of way diss the church, but they have no idea what they are talking about because more often than not, they don't research. Research allows you to take your scholarship far enough so that you can prove your own self wrong before you divulge anything, before you misinform or disinform anyone, right? Because disinformation and misinformation is what a big thing out there now. We're being misinformed and disinformed because why? People won't take the time to do what? Research. All it takes is a little time. They've made it easy now. At the push of a button, at the tap of a button, you can do what? You can pull up information because it is information that brings about transformation, right? Now, if you get disinformation, it's going to form something in you. Misinformation will form something in you. Also, proper and correct information will form something in you. The whole thing is centered around one word. You all watch this, the word peace. How many of you know what that acronym stands for? The word peace. Let me put that out there. The word peace. 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 The word peace. Look at that word peace. It is an acronym uh, that stands for something, and it has more than one meaning in its acronyms. Others have used it as well. But you look at the word peace. You all see it? Look at that word, the word peace. Let's see. Peace, proper, education, always, correct, error. Isn't that something? Peace. When someone is saying peace, guess what they're saying? This is what they're saying. Proper education, always, correct, error. Peace brings that. Have you ever noticed when you're in a peaceful state that you can really look at something and assess it, and it brings you that kind of settlement within yourself where you are settled, right? Peace. Proper education, always correct error. That's why we have to deal with what? Disinformation and misinformation. And so Let me introduce this wine, and then I'm going to put the word faith out there and let you guys take a look at it and see what you think about it. And in fact, while I'm pouring up this wine, let me go ahead and put that out there and see what you guys think about that. Okay. Excuse me. Let me put out there. There we All right. I got my wine glass. Ooh, look at there. I'm gonna pour up me a bell. Hey, Lavelle, put us a toast out there, Lavelle, real quick. Put a toast out there. Ooh, look. Ooh, sooky now. Look at that bell. You know, this how they give us when we go to the restaurant and purchase us a glass of wine. They give us a bail and charge us $14.99. But let me get Lavelle real quick to put us a toast out there, if she can hear me. Come on, Lavelle. And we're going to get into this toast and we're going to get into this conversation. But I want you all to take a look at. I put the word faith out there, and then I also included the Greek definition for the word faith. Thank you, Lavelle. Priestess. All right, you all. The priestess put it out there. Success, loyalty, and royalty. Ashe, ashe, asheo. Salud. Mm, amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's look at this. I'm putting this out here for a reason. We're not going to church. We're going to come to reality and get out of a false reality. Because while we've been disillusioned, we've been given information that has altered our reality, and we are no longer in control of our reality because we are the ones that should be controlling our own reality. Are you listening to me? Okay. You hear me and you hear me well. Okay. Okay. So look at this word. The word faith is a Greek word called pistis. Look at what it means. When people are talking about faith, faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. Please note that I'm not trying to proselytize anyone. I'm not trying to belittle the church or anything, but what I am trying to do is dispel the spell that has been placed upon us with misinformation and what? Disinformation. So when you look at the word faith doesn't have anything to do with how you can believe a thing. Okay? You know, when people are saying, well, I have the faith that it is going to happen, that isn't faith at all. Now, however, there is another Greek word that deals with that, and that's called pisteuo, which means how you think and how you believe. But real true faith is pistis. It is the thought of the Most High and what the Most High thinks toward you. And I think this is very important to note. Okay, so look at it. Pistis. It means assurance. Not only does it means assurance, but it means insurance. So it isn't dealing with anything that's invisible that you cannot that it isn't tangible. Okay? So when religious people generally speaks to you or typically speaks to you, they're talking about something that is not seen, something that isn't happened, and you like the ability to be able to manifest it. That isn't what that is. Look at what it is saying to you assurance. Insurance. Assurance, meaning what? Y'all know what that means. That you are assured that it is what it is and that it exists in a form that it's applicable, that it's tangible. And insurance giving us what? The ability to know that is, it is insured, right? And then it also means to have full confidence. It means to have freedom from doubt. And it means the truthfulness of God. Not only that, the truth itself, and it means fidelity. Now, so what is it really saying to us, family? What it is really, faith is saying then that it is real, it is tangible, it is accessible. We can get to it, utilize it, and use it without some type of whimsical thinking that we have to do all of these prayers and affirmations and all of these things to somehow acquire what we refer to as what? Faith. Doesn't have anything to do with that. It has everything to do with that. It is already insured. It is already assured. It is filled full of confidence. When we are filled full of confidence, it is because we already know, right? Come on here and talk to me. Yeah. Come on here and talk to me. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation. I am your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander on the People's Podcast. This is the People's Podcast for sure, because it is FUBU, for us, by us. It is for you, for me, and what? For us. It is FUBU. So now, when you take a look at this is very important because what I want to do and what we should be doing is to remove all doubt about anything. Because when we're in doubt of something, that means that we are not assured, right? Which creates what? Doubt. When we're not assured, it creates what? Doubt. And doubt is like a knot tied in a rope. Won't let anything in, won't let anything out, right? Won't let anything in, won't let anything out. That's what doubt does. Look at this. But faith means the truth of a thing. Not only does it mean the truth of a thing, but look at you all, it means also fidelity. This comes from the strong Hebrew and Greek lexicon. But it also means fidelity. What does fidelity mean? Fidelity actually means to have the ability to make the same sound or to have the same behavior, not an imitation, but a duplication. It is to duplicate the same thing. We have the ability and the power to duplicate the same thing, right? So as the Most High think, so does we. Okay, so that's what faith is. Faith is knowledge. Faith is knowing a thing exists. Now, let me pull something else up for you guys because we dealt with this in a couple of Wind Down Wednesdays ago, right? We dealt with this in a couple of Wind Down Wednesdays ago. I want you all to see this word. Look at it. I want y'all just take a second to look at it, and I'll put a little sounds on sounds in the background just for a second, guys. Take a look at that. Read it, and let's get a drawing. And while we're doing that, take a toast. My famous toast is, may you live forever. And shall I what? Never die. All right. All right. All right. For those of you that may be having a problem with the enunciation of the word, it is pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical. One, it means one that uses what? Fantasy as a medicine to deal with the inability to cope with reality. And this is what has been happening to us due to the misinformation and the disinformation that has been handed to us. The media has used propaganda. They have propagandized lies. They have propagandized misinformation and disinformation. Let us be clear on that. They have propagandized that. So one says that one that used fantasy as a medicine to deal with the inability to cope with reality. How many, and I'm quite sure there are those of us on the timeline that have dealt with someone that you know are there in an altered reality, that they're not dealing with how things really appear. They're not really dealing with assurance, insurance. They're not free from doubt, right? They don't have the truth of the Most High. Okay. So when you look at that, you can see that you're not quite bringing that all the way around. Something is off about that, right? Okay, let me move through this because I don't want to belabor the point. Two says a psychological, intellectual defensive mechanism that leads to misleading self deception. Y'all know how y'all can talk to somebody, or we can talk to somebody, and they have this defense up, and you're trying to get through to them. You're trying to say, "Hey, man, just listen. If you listen to me, here is what's correct or most correct, according as I have studied it or researched it." And then they do what? They use direct avoidance on you so that you cannot penetrate them to be able to what? Give them the information. So it's an intellectual defensive mechanism. And it deals with the psychological realm of someone's thought processes, right? And I know that we've all in some at some level have dealt with someone that was displaying that, right? So look at the third and final thing that I cited. It means that which is absent of truth. We talked about truth. That which is absent of truth as a result of what? Misinterpretation or misinterpretations of what has been said or presented. Y'all know how we talk to people and they misinterpret what we say, right? They just misinterpret. And you know you didn't bit more say that than a man on the moon. But they say, well, this is what you said. And you're like, I didn't say that to you. What are you talking about? Right? Let me read that again because this is very important. You all listen, this is good information that you're not going to find laying anywhere, right? And you're getting in Wind Down Wednesday grown folk conversation. And one of the things that we have to develop again is patience to be able to allow someone develop to develop the thought, the concept, or whatever they're trying to do to get the point over to us, right? So that we won't get into that psychological, intellectual defensive mechanism. Okay. All right. Now, again, the third thing says that which is absent of truth as a result of what? Misinterpretation or misinterpretations of what has been said or presented. And this is Very important to recognize, right? Okay. Let me put some of you guys' comments up there. Queen Kizzy is in the house. Queen Kizzy says, talk about it. Queen Octavia says, faith equals full coverage. Yes, it does. Okay. Now, Kizzy also says, yep, or they make it fit for them or take what benefits them from what you said. Yes, absolutely, Kizzy. Okay. So now that's pharmaceutical. And the term that I use in my also my constituents and my mentees use the term also, it's called pharmaceutical delusional denial, where you're in denial about the fantasy that you're using to be able to cope with what is going on, right? Or you're having a psychological problem in creating a defense that leads to your own self deception. Okay. Right. Where you're going to misinterpret what someone is actually saying to you. Isn't that something? And this happens often, and especially for those of you. There are some of you on the timeline where you're counselors, coaches, you're readers, you're prophets, you're seers. You may be on the timeline, and you know this is true because you may have some clients where you've had to deal with this with them, right? Okay, where you had to issue some level of therapy that could benefit them and bring them into a place where they could regain the control of their own thought processes. Okay. And Kissy says, right, or they get mad at you because they are so defensive. Yes, this is true. This is so true, Queen Kizzy. Yes. Okay. So let us move on. So that's pharmaceutical, right? So now let's move into knowing versus belief. Because most people think they know, they're not. They don't know. They're in a state of belief. This is important to note so that you can distinguish the difference, so that you can get the information, so that you can come into the realm of knowing to be assured, to be insured, and that will remove all doubt. When you remove all doubt, that means that you're coming into what? All knowing. When you come into all knowing, you ascend back into your higher self, back into your God self, your God conscious, which gives you the ability to be in connectivity with the universe, to be in connectivity with the Most High, to be in connectivity with those that are on the same frequency, that are vibing together, right? And this is imperative. Okay, this is imperative. This is paramount that we get these things in our ear gates, that we can hear them, that someone can articulate them in a fashion that's suitable for our ability to obtain it so we can retain it, right? So that we can use it for our journey. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So let's get into know versus belief. Can you all see that? Let me set that there just for a moment. Let me put the sounds in the background so that y'all can just take a minute and look at that. Okay. All right. And while we're doing that, we'll take another toke. Salute, salute, salute. Because you're in Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a step grown folk conversation. With your host, with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander, the people's podcast, baby. Also, just so you know, tonight's podcast is being sponsored by none other than the Prince of Peace, Queen Octavia, the Master Teacher, the Quantum Shifter, the Shapeshifter, the Code Breaker, Queen Dorothy Wilson, 217, Springfield, Illinois. Also, Tracy and Anthony Love, that's Fayetteville, baby, North Carolina. Also, our very own T Swing, Men Can't Always Be Wrong podcast. And he also has an amazing book out called Love is for Suckers. And if you haven't had an opportunity to pick that up yet, you might want to pick it up. He's all over all social medias, and you can get this. Listen, and it's relatively inexpensive, and you'll love the read. Love is for Suckers. All right? Pick it up. All right. All right. Y'all good out there? It's wind down Wednesday, isn't it? All right. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, thank you for that, Prince of Peace. Please, if you've donated and you're donating, please do this for you and for me and for us. Go ahead and put it out there on the timeline so that we can do what? Shout you out. This is what it's all about. This is the place where you come to be recognized, right? Let me get back up here to our shouts out, you all. Bear with me. I'm not going to hold you long. Remember, I only get about 60 minutes out you, right? Listen, highlighted by none other than the Prince of Peace, J.P. Hall. The shouts out Black Moses Freedom Festival, the Blackest Truth Session with No Chaser. Black man, wake up. Black men in power, wake up. Black people, the Black community, you name it. Dorothy Wilson, Black Wisdom, Black Truth, Gully Geechee, National Beaded Vibration, Louis Jameson, Holistic Vitals, LLC, Cold Black Life, Vitalities, excuse me, the Truth Session, Mouse O'Bannon, which is none other than D herself, Crown 9, Shine Vibe, Jamar Joy, the Cedric the Entertainer, Wind Down Wednesday, Therapy with a Sip, Grown Folk Conversation, Delphina Elog, Townsend King Black, that's 217, that's Springfield, Illinois. None other than the priestess, baby, herself, Lavelle in the house. Isn't that something? All right. Okay, let's look at this. Y'all had a chance to look at this. What say y'all? Let me let y'all put something on the timeline before I sound off on this. Let me let y'all put something on the timeline. I'm gonna pull it sounds on sounds in the background with the drum roll first. Y'all go ahead and put something on the timeline. What y'all think about that? Knowing comes direct evidence, right? Oh yeah, suck it now. You in Wind Down Wednesday, baby. You on the People's Podcast. You on the Deep Flow with none other than your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander, baby. If you ain't hung out with us before, listen, you getting ready to hang now, baby. All you got to do is hold on. The train is coming. Yeah, the love train. Ah, Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Yes, sir. There it is. Comments out there, listen, so that we can read them and put them out there in the air. Or somebody care, right? Somebody need it. Come on here so they can take their journey a little bit easier. Let's create some ergonomics tonight. Ergonomics will be good for somebody in the hood, in the woods, somebody that's sure. Come on here, let's walk and talk. Welcome to my world. You hanging out again with your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. Yes, indeed. All right. I see y'all filling it up. Here we go. Here we go. Queen Kizzy says, knowing to me is having a testimony because it worked or came through for me. I made it do what it does. You understand me? Y'all hear what Queen Kizzy says? She made it do what it does. Didn't she make it do what it do, baby? That's what our late great elder said, peace be upon him, Ray Charles. We'll make it do what they do, baby. Oh, yeah, you and Wind Down Wednesday, baby, the People's Podcast. Yes. The Prince of Peace, JP, says, yes, we know because we have the facts that back it up. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Queen Kizzy says, so when I say I know that I know is cause I know. Oh, yeah. Now we're getting it on. Listen, for you, for me, and for us, go ahead and hit those emojis on the timeline. We can change this algorithm, right? And we can reach more. Y'all know how Facebook is. They want you to do a little work, put a little lead work in, and then they help us along the way, right? Isn't that something? All right, so knowing comes from direct evidence or experience. That's what knowing does. Look what knowing comes from. To Queen Kizzy's point. Knowing comes from direct evidence or experience. You have evidence or you have, in some essence, experienced it, right? And then look at belief. Look what belief does. Belief comes from trust or assumption without full proof, which means that there is no assurance or insurance. They're not covered, right? But knowing covers you. You are assured and you have the insurance. You have no doubt, right? So knowing comes from then direct evidence or experience. Belief comes from trust or assumption without full proof. Okay, so let's get that straight. So when we're dealing with faith, faith actually deals with what? Knowing, which means that you have direct evidence or you have experienced it. Okay, so when you experience a thing, you can manifest it on a whole nother level. Not only can you manifest it, but you can articulate it, right? Because what are we looking for? We're looking for a level of articulation that brings about a high level of clarity. The clearer thing is, the easier it is for us to do what? Assess it. When you can assess a thing because of the clarity, then you get the assurance. Oh, come on and talk to Miss Wind Down Wednesday, baby. It's the People's Podcast, right? Then also knowing is certain and testable. You can test it. When you know a thing, right? It is certain and it can be what? Tested. You can test it, and guess what? It would verify itself. This is one of the things, this is why we deal with truth. That's one of the meanings of what? Faith. Truth. Truth then is how things really what? Appear. And because it is apparent, then you can test it, right? Not in some invisible realm where you can't test it, right? Where people say, well, you just got to believe it. And well, no, I don't have to just believe anything. If you can't give me proof, then I'm going to leave that alone, right? Come on, y'all. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Yeah, that's right. The master teacher says the facts yield forth the same results. Truth. Yes, indeed. I see you, Prince of Peace. Prince of Peace says we should make informed decisions based off of what we know. Knowing gives us a real experience. Oh, we got toast to that. Let me leave that up there just for a second. We got toast to that, y'all. I hear you, Prince of Peace. Salute, salute, salute. Queen Kizzy, I'm almost about to slur. Salute. Okay. Queen Kizzy says that part, it really verifies itself. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's Wind Down Wednesday, y'all. Where y'all at? Y'all on the People's Podcast. If you're on the Paper Podcast and you down with me and we down for our crown, because we the number ones in our town. Listen, put a one on the timeline. If you down for your crown. Oh, I'm down for mine. Yes, indeed. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Therapy with a sip. Isn't that something? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Put them ones out there. That means you put your hands in the air and you waving them like you just don't care. I see you. Yes, indeed. Oh, y'all in the house? Okay, okay, okay. Oh, mama, here come that man again. Yes, indeed. Queen Kizzy said, that's okay. Slur away. It's Wind Down Wednesday, baby. Salute. I ain't fooling up with you, Kizzy. You trying to get me out there. I see you, Queen Tracy. Queen Tracy in the house. She says, salute. And she put them ones out there, baby. Ooh, wee. We on like a telephone tonight, y'all. We in Wind Down Wednesday. Therapy with a sip, grown folk conversation with your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander on what? The People's Podcast. I'm going to put one more up here and we're going to get out of here. Listen, tonight's podcast, again, is being sponsored and brought to you by none other than the Prince of Peace, Queen Octavia, the master teacher, Queen Dorothy Wilson, Tony and Anthony, Tracy and Anthony Love, and T. Swin, Man Can Always Be Wrong podcast. Again, pick that read up. It's a good read. Love is for suckers. All right? Pick that up. All right. So, again, let me read through this, and we got one more, and we're going to get up out of here. Knowing comes from direct evidence or experience. Belief comes from what? Trust or assumption without full proof. That's what belief comes from. Knowing is certain and what? Testable. Isn't that what we said? Correct. All right. This is the last one, y'all, and we're about to get out of here. We got 5 minutes. All right. Here's the other one. Knowing you've touched fire and got burned. Knowing is you touched fire and got what? Burned. Belief is you believe fire burns because someone told you. Right? See, that's belief. That's a different belief between knowing and belief. When we know a thing, why? Because we've what? Experienced it. We've experienced being burned. So we're trying to tell you, hey man, if you touch that fire hot, it's gonna burn you. Right? All right. Then knowing also means what? You solve a math problem and verify the answer. Look at this. Knowing means that you can solve a math problem and verify the answer, but look what belief does. Belief says you believe the answer is correct without checking it. So that takes us back to what? Pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical what? Delusional what? Denial. Pharmaceutical, one that uses fantasy as a medicine to deal with the inability to do what? Cope with reality. Two, it means what? a psychological, intellectual defensive mechanism that leads to misleading self deception. You're deceiving yourself. The third thing and final thing I cited was that which is absent of what? Truth as a result of what? Misinterpretations of what has been what? Said or presented. Okay? Now that's powerful. And that's my emphasis. That's my definition. Just in case you all need to know. Okay. All right. Queen Kizzy says basically, this described why I was always in trouble because I had to know for myself and laugh at my ass off. Kizzy, you was always into something. Hey, hey, you as I was, we were born conflict rebels. That was our listen, that was our destiny in our course. We've been born conflict rebels. Queen Kizzy said this is basically again explains why I was always in trouble as a child because I always had to know for myself. Right. I agree. Yes, indeed. That's because you was born a conflict rebel. Isn't that something? Born a conflict rebel. Listen, y'all know what time it is. Okay, so real quick before we get out of here, one more time. Let's donate. How many of you all can donate? Let me put the information out there again for you all. I'll run uh, the banner, excuse me, for you all. If you can donate, donate. Don't withhold your hand. But if you can donate, go ahead and donate. It's okay, right? And we're going to shout you out before we get out of here because we're on the B side of this and we've used up our 60 minutes. We have 1 minute left, you all. How many of you all got something out of this tonight? You got something out of this tonight. Go ahead and put a one on the top. Yeah, hola, la ribella. Yeah, yes, indeed. See, señorita. No? If you got something out of this tonight, go ahead and put a one on the timeline. Let's get on the same page. Right. Oh, yeah. I know I got plenty out of this tonight. Whether you all know it or not, I sit back and listen to the guy because I'll be like, who is that guy talking? Right? What did he just say? Did he just say that? Isn't that something, fam? You be talking to yourself, you be like, did that, did that guy just say that? Yeah, but it is amazing. And I am so appreciative, you all. Um, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but right now in Wind Down Wednesday with you all. Thank you, Prince of Peace, for your donation. Thank you, Queen Octavia, for your donation. Gratitude, gratitude. Um, it doesn't see if we all come together and everybody just give a little bit, it adds up because you're not just looking for one person to just give some great big old donation, but it's enough of us that we come into Wind Down Wednesday that if we just shared a portion, it helps, right? Because we have to purchase software, we have to purchase products, and we're trying to do other things to bring about a greater presentation for you all. We're in this for the long haul. We're not here just trying to somehow uh, finagle something, get something from you guys, but we're definitely pouring into you. So if I give you of my spiritual substance, my words, you can give me of your materialism, right? To strengthen me, to encourage me, to keep doing what it is that I do, right? Doesn't that make good sense? it makes great sense, doesn't it? Buenas noches, amor, señorita, Kizzy. All right, fam. Y'all know what time it is. We've done what? We've reached that space and place and time where I must say what? Hold what you got. Muso. Cogitate upon it. Ponder on it. But by all means, do what? Govern yourselves accordingly. One love, eternal light, peace, power, prosperity. In the words of the Prince of Peace, J.P. Hall, excellent health. In my Hebrew language, Shalom Aleichem Mishpachah, which means peace be unto you, family. You've just finished up another Wind Down Wednesday on the People's Podcast. Enjoy your evening.